welcome to CrossFit Creations. Today I am in a different background, and that is because I am in my kitchen. I'm in my kitchen because I'm going to be using this whiteboard as I am going to be sharing with you my top tips on what I've learned since I was a little girl when I have been cross-stitching. Hopefully you find this useful. Let's get started. So for my number one, needle minders. If you don't know what they are basically a little magnet which you put on your material, which allows you to place the needle on top and secures it in place. This is something that I came across not so long ago, and it's really a useful little tool to have and own in your cross-stitching selection. It is something that allows you to stop unnecessary holes going onto your material, and obviously if you use cheaper needles, it also stops any rust hazards from happening. So that is my first one, needle minders. So for my next one, a stand. Now this is something that I invested in this year. I invested in the Lowry stand, and what a difference it has made to my cross-stitching experience. It is definitely by far the best thing that I have bought this year, as it has helped me dramatically. I was struggling with cross-stitching for a while because I was getting strain in my wrist. Now, if you're probably like me and you cross-stitch for a long time, it is so easy to go for hours in one position, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was holding a hoop for such a long time and I was getting strain in my wrist. Now that I have the stand, it has made a massive difference. I no longer get pains in my wrists because my wrists are now free. So I would definitely recommend a stand. I know some of you may be more hand cross stitchers, so I understand that it is a different style of cross stitching, but I would definitely recommend using a stand and definitely giving it a try. So for my next one, good lighting. Now there are two reasons why I say for this. One is your eyesight. It is not good to be cross-stitching in bad light. It really causes a strain on your eyes, especially if you're doing it late at night, which I'm sure many of you do. Like me, I can be cross-stitching for all sorts of hours in the night. So even when you're tired, and also if you're working with bad lighting, the two just don't go well together. It causes real strain on your eyes, so definitely make sure that you invest in good lighting. And for the second reason, it also stops you choosing that wrong colour. It has happened to me so many times, and I've definitely learned the hard way, and that is that you may select a colour that looks similar to another one. You wake up the next day, you have great lighting, and you realise, damn it, I'm going to have to delete all that off, unpick it all and restart again. That wouldn't happen, probably not, if you had good lighting. It's not worth it. Just invest in good lighting. Again, there are so many options out there that you can invest in. Definitely invest in good lighting. So my next one is probably more for the bigger projects, and that is use multiple needles. This is something that I kind of stumbled across on my last project. It was something that used a lot of colours, and I found I was spending so much time changing my needle constantly with different colours. So I ended up using more needles, and I found it made a huge difference to the amount of cross stitching that I got done in a certain period of time. So I would definitely use multiple needles, especially on the big projects where you are using multiple colours, as it will help you be more efficient. So for my next one, I wasn't too sure what to call it, but in the end I've gone for a thread identifier. What I mean by this is something that really helps me on all of my projects, and it's basically I get little pieces of paper, I put the identifier, so whether it's a symbol or a thread number, onto the paper, and then I use this throughout my project. It allows me to have multiple colours throughout my material, and it allows me to pick up the colours knowing exactly which one is which. I will insert a little clip so you know exactly what I mean, but this is something that has really helped me in terms of being more efficient and working my way through the pattern a lot quicker than what I would be if I was just continuously using one by one. So the next one, I'm not sure everyone's going to agree with me, but the next one is do not use, you ready? Highlighters. Now, I know highlighters are great, it helps you with your pattern, identify what you've done and where you're at, but they can cause real problems if you get them on your material. It is not worth it. It's happened to me before, and I've seen it happen to many other people on Facebook posting that they've got highlighter on their material. If you spend so much time, some people spend years on their material, and it just takes that one time to get highlighter on your material, and it's really hard to get off. Just use a pencil, it does the same thing. Obviously highlighters are nice and colourful, but it's not worth it. Just use a pencil, it's easier to get off your material if you get it on, so do not use highlighters. For my next one, wash your hands. I like to eat, drink whilst I am doing my cross stitching, but I don't do them at the same time. And if I do eat something, I always wash my hands after. It's amazing how much dirt you can get on your hands, and especially if you're using a lighter material, it can get onto the material. Obviously you can wash the material, but it's just worth getting into the habit of keeping your hands clean so you don't get any of the grubbiness on your hands onto the material. Number 8 is really important, and I think it's something that a lot of people forget, and that is take breaks. It doesn't have to be hours, it can just be get up, stretch, move your wrists, go and get a drink, go for a walk, get some fresh air. We can spend hours and hours and hours doing our cross stitching. It is so important to get up and stretch, and also get some fresh air, and also to give your eyes a rest. You know, doing cross stitching, it can really strain your eyes if you're doing it for such a long time. It is great to get up. I try and do a break every hour or so, whether that's just walking into the kitchen getting a drink, or whether that is just doing something a little bit different and coming back. So taking a break is really important, and it is important that you make sure that it's something that you do. Number 9 is keep in mind your frame. This is something that you need to think about at the beginning of your pattern. I have seen it quite often where people have finished their pattern and the cross stitching is so close to the edge that it's now going to be difficult for them to frame. It is so disappointing if that happens, because you've spent so much time on your material, on your pattern, and now you can't frame it. So make sure that you leave a couple of inches around the sides. I did do a video not so long ago in starting a cross stitching set. Go and check it out, it might be helpful, and it's basically showing you how you can identify the middle of your pattern or the middle of your material, and then that then allows you to have some room around the edges for framing. It is so important. We spend so much time on our cross stitching. The last thing you want to happen is now you can't frame. So make sure you keep in mind your frame. And for the last one is make sure you get comfortable. Make sure that you have lots of comfy cushions around you. Make sure you're in a good seat, and also make sure that you're sitting in a good position. So that's it. That's my top 10 tips. I hope you found them useful. Now, obviously, they are very personal to me. You don't have to agree with some of them. I'm sure the highlighter one is going to be kind of one of them where you agree or disagree. This is just my things that I have learned over the years, and I thought I would share with you I thought I would share them with you in the hope that they may help some of you, especially if you're beginners or even if you are experienced, in the hope that you've learned something. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel and make sure your notifications are turned on. Give this video a like if you've liked it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.